G'day, it's Shane here from Taste McLaren Vale, and I'm here today on a wonderful McLaren Vale spring day, talking to a good friend of mine, John Creeper from Viognier Vineyard, talking about what he's up to with the vineyard and the wine. So John, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
But more importantly, tell us a little bit about why McLaren Vale.
McLaren Vale is a growing up district for me. Attended secondary, Wollonga High School, along with some of the important names in the wine industry, McLaren Vale, the Olivers, the Paxtons, the Darrenbergs, the Rayners, the Kidners.
The Kidners?
Well, Matt Rechner, who's the grandson of the fellow who my mother and father picked grapes for in Tatachilla a long time ago.
So, John, tell us about the vineyard, and more importantly, what's unique or what's interesting about the vineyard?
The vineyard for me, when I had the opportunity to buy this property here, which incidentally wasn't a vineyard then, was that I was coming back to the district. I liked the beaches, all of those other things about the Fleurieu, but I had an opportunity to build a vineyard on the banks of the Ongaparinga, but I'm on the suburban side. And because of that, we get the sea breezes. In fact, we can see the sea. We get the gully breezes, which we feel pretty often. And so disease and mildews are very minimal, so it makes life much easier running a vineyard.
So John, you talk about this vineyard, and you sort of alluded to it before. It wasn't a vineyard when you got it. When you got the property. How long have you had it as a vineyard? When did you plant the grapes, and when did the first commercial grapes come off it?
The first grapes were harvested, the vintage was in 2005, so we've got some wine that's still available in bottles, 2005, and we've been making wine ever since with a local winemaker. In fact, we like to stay local.
So when was it planted?
It was planted in 2002. It was a family, friends affair. I guess as an in charge of schools, it was me to organise, make sure it all went together when they arrived, and then we put sticks in, cut the sticks, put them in the ground, put up a trellis, and from there we just watched the thing develop.
And it's lovely, isn't it?
Well, it is really nice at this point when it's pruned, maybe spray a little bit, and then pick.
Alright, that's good. So, one of the things that I find really interesting in the area, but specifically about what you're doing, is all to do with biodynamics. It's something that I'd say that I don't know a lot of. So can you tell us, and tell the people on the other side of the camera there, a little bit about biodynamics and why for you?
For me, as an agricultural teacher for some 20 odd years, and working with and on having involvement in a property where it was broadacre farming, where chemicals and all of those things ground up in a drum was all supposed to be the saviour. I don't believe it is, and I think that if we look back through history, there are lots of problems associated involving chemicals in particularly food production, and sure, wine is one of those. So for me, when I was introduced to full-on biodynamics, it just kind of fitted my mindset. And when people don't talk about weeds, but talk about herbs, that to me seemed to make sense. And we then got results, and I believe the results are probably in
the glass. Now, John, I'll put words in your mouth just for the moment. I'd say that there might be a little element of being something different. I've known you for a little while now, and I have to say being different is in your nature. So biodynamics is a bit different as well, so I think that sort of fits like a glove too.
I think, well, you can't party when there's not a full moon, it's too dark. And biodynamics, it revolves around the moon, the planets, the cycle, the earth rotate, all of those sort of things. And I guess some people know me as a party animal, But I've always been involved in school productions and running those and doing the lighting and the sound and the props and being on stage. And I guess sometimes I'm outside the square.
Yeah, I can imagine that quite readily.
But
so
what has happened is I've actually got some reasonable wine, I believe quality wine, and so the judges are saying that in recent times, that why not do it with quality?
And if you talk about why you do it, I think you mentioned it before, the proof is where?
I think it's in the glass, but
That's
the
right,
proof is even better when you take what's in the glass and put it somewhere else.
That helps. Excellent. So, John, you've talked about the vineyard and all that sort of stuff. Can you tell us what's happening at the moment? What's exciting about 5 Years Vineyard?
What's exciting is that I had an opportunity to buy a very old 2-storey barn in the city, built in about 1935, and we're about to build that, put it back up again on the vineyard, and that will become cellar door, kind of party room, and we will be able to do what I think we do best, and we'd like to invite lots of other people to come and join us.
So how can people organise to get invited?
Well, if you go to our website, which has been produced by an outstanding person, I believe, that you will be able to get invitations to come on the occasions, which are fairly often, when we will enable you to be able to purchase the wine from on site. You can do it other ways, and join us with the music and the party.
So John, thanks for joining me today. But I'd like to make just one comment. In this glass is some 2012 Creepers cut out Shiraz, and I think it's an absolute ripper. And get onto it. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Sean.